Good day, dear friends. Good day. A tad early. It's about doesn't matter what time it is, but it's 6 a.m. ish, and I just got done with my overnight show, and I want to make sure that I spend some time going over this with you and explaining a few things which I think are critical. And this is how Trump the warrior you were going to see full force, big time. Before I begin, let me remind you I have put a link up to preparewithlionel.com. We were talking before and making tremendous headway for many, many people who were enjoying, and not enjoying, but dealing with the notion, the horror of if you ever needed emergency food or some type of ability to either purify water, uh, do power generation, waterproof matches, preparewithlionel.com. There's a deal right now where you can claim you can get a 4 week supply free, a $247 value a month for preparewithlionel.com. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I don't have to explain to you the notion of emergency food. You need 30 days of food. That's simple. I don't know when the horror is going to happen, but it's going to happen. You know it, and I know it. Excuse me, because these people are ruthless. Okay? So that's at preparewithlionel.com. That is it for you. Uh, and I mean that. These people are getting desperate because he has done tremendously well heretofore. A couple of things you got to understand. Trump's been through some very interesting spiritual things. He's been talking a lot. Alex Jones mentioned this about meeting and being, how do I say this, working with God. He was talking about something about Putin, working with Putin, dealing with Putin, doing all these types of things. And he was suggesting that in order, if he were to negotiate with Putin, God would like it, or God would be. He's talking a lot about God, and I respectfully submit that I believe that that event affected him more than anything you could imagine. As you as you can imagine, escaping death by a millimeter, by a I can't even imagine what that. To hear that, you hear that noise, and he's never been able to act tough. He can't, or to act human. He can't talk about it. He had to be playing golf the next day with a bandage on his ear, and he just, I mean, I think that affected him greatly. I also think he realizes that after he's done, you're not going to see his family anymore. Those kids are going to be done. Nobody, Don and they're. This is it. He realizes this is it. So consequently, what you're going to be seeing, and we're going to be seeing as well, is his last stand, his denouement, his valedictory, his sayonara, his adios. This is it. Before we get into J.D. Vance or whether I trust him or not, I want you to understand he's talking a lot also about going after Pfizer, going after a lot of the sacred cows, thinking about warp speed. Remember, this is what he himself was proud of. He himself was exceedingly proud of warp speed. This was his thing. And what's also interesting to note, which I find fascinating, is I think we're going to be seeing something very, very, very drastic. And I think he's trying to time this. I just hope he has the sufficient team to do this. But I think he's timing this so that he can make the biggest splash possible. He realizes if he just sits around and just kind of pretends to be doing something, especially after they go after him regarding his health, because that's the latest thing. Is his health okay? Is he okay? Is his is he all right? Is he they're talking about things up to and including, you do know he has his duplex venous reflux, which he doesn't have deep vein thrombosis, but he does have kind of a thickened swollen ankle. Excuse me, is very, very common. He has purpura. He has some bruises here and there. That doesn't mean anything. What means something, what I think is critical, what we need to talk about, is that there is something which is so necessary. He is going to go after big pharma. He is going to settle, I think, first NATO. He is getting absolutely sick and tired of what's happening with Netanyahu. This is going nowhere. The international community of which he wants to be a part of. Don't let anybody fool you. He wants to be a part of it. Excuse me. He recognizes the fact that in order for him to be who he says he wants to be, he's got to be a part of this contingent, so to speak. What he also realizes is very, very simple, that there is a kind of a betrayal. And I think he realizes this. I think he realizes the betrayal that took place. I think he recognizes the fact that for the longest time, BB and APAC led him down the primrose path. Trump is 79. You can't change that. I think listen, you know, and I know, he doesn't have to be agile. He doesn't have to play golf for him to know what is happening. Listen to, say what you want about Alan Dershowitz. He's 85. 79 is nothing. If you pay too much attention to Trump, if you say, I wonder if I can see something. Tonight on WABC, somebody suggested that he's had a stroke because he looks swollen. What does that even mean? I don't think people really understand what an ischemic attack is or what they're looking for. The bottom line is simply this, my friend. I think he realizes in order to make his mark, in order to really hit that deep state, especially when he realizes, because remember, after this, his family's through. He's done. And the thing is that they may be putting pressure on Jared to have him do certain things because, remember, I was watching Jared again suggesting about oceanfront property on, dear God, and Gaza, and I can't even believe he said that. So anyway, mRNA, he's going after that. He's going after the warp speed folks. He's going after Pfizer. He's letting Bobby Kennedy go. I can't tell you what's happening regarding the indictments. I don't even know why he's announced any of this, why he's letting people know that they're even investigating anybody or anything. I think Dan Bongino is pretty much gone. I saw Kash Patel for the first time. I think the Epstein thing really hurt them a lot. But I think President Trump is recognizing that Bibi has kept him back and has compromised him in the real world because everybody knows that what is happening right now. Don't use the word genocide. Call it massacre. Call it a disaster. Call it inhumanity. Call it whatever you want. But it's got to stop. It has got to stop. And he can't push it. He tried to pretend like he didn't know. He knows now what's happening. He's aware of this. So that's going to be really critical to see. He also has to become more and more involved in New York politics, specifically involving our horrible case involving Mamdani. Let me also tell you something which is happening, which is very, very interesting. And I'm really, maybe I'm thinking too much about this, but I'm. There are more and more Muslims that you are hearing, that I'm hearing, coming forward and saying things to the effect of, we're going to take over, you're going to be Muslim and all this stuff. What is the purpose? If you are going in and you are going to take over as Muslims, if that's your thing, and you're having more kids and all this, why would you announce it to the world unless maybe it might be, don't put it past a BB to try to conflate Palestinians with Muslims because Americans don't know the difference. Americans don't grasp the difference. They don't know. Don't be surprised. I don't understand why somebody would want to say we're going to take over your people and your traditions and your values and your faith. It's stupid. I mean, maybe there's a couple of people who said it, but so that's coming up. That's we're hearing of more and more. There's also some other things as well. I think I mentioned to you before, and I hope Trump does finally do something regarding, and I don't know why he wouldn't, but he's doing something specifically regarding how do I say this? He's doing something regarding how do I say this? He's doing something. Wow. I'm looking at this. President Trump hints at Biden auto pen portrait in New York. They've got to follow up through this as well. They have got to. They have got to do something. I'm looking at all the stuff that's happening. I'm looking at all of this stuff, and I'm looking at how Trump in particular is going to have to do something. And I hope one of the things they have to recognize is the fact that Elon Omar, her net worth went to 30 million. I know they're gonna use her husband as the basis for this, but let me tell you something. I think we understand what's happening with this. So anyway, there's a lot that's going on. Please forgive me. My head is crazed. I've been up since I just got done 4-hour shift. Talked to you before, but I wanted you to understand this. I didn't want to let this go by. I didn't want this moment to kind of slip by. You're going to be hearing more and more. Please don't lose your faith. Please don't lose your faith in Trump. Please don't lose your faith in what's happening. Please don't think for a moment that things are kind of slowing down. I am telling you, something big is happening. And you can see it. He's laying out the groundwork because he realizes, frankly, I think to use a terrible vernacular, he's saying, fuck it. This is it. This is my last chance. They tried to kill me. Remember what I said before? He's talking a lot about God. He's talking about the hereafter. He's talking about the finality of this. He realizes this is my last stand. If I'm going to really be this Donald Trump that they want me to be, I got to do it now. Plus, he realizes, I'm saying this again, he knows that his kids, once he's out of office, they're through. Nobody will have anything. Nobody likes them. Nobody wants to do. Who wants to deal with Don Jr.? Nobody. Eric maybe. And Ivanka, even she realizes I'm done. So watch what's happening. The God thing, the recognition of the fact that time is running up. Also, he's getting pretty pissed off with Bibi. And watch for him. The first thing he's going to do is make a deal with Putin. Because they're also telling him, listen, did you see Modi, Xi Jinping, and Putin at this this Colossus meeting? Trump is going to go. I would say you're going to have to do something to destroy. If you want to go after the deep state that tried to kill you, you're going to have to go after them at their base, and that is basically destroying this Western bloc, so to speak, and embrace people like BRICS. That would just, first of all, he would look like he would be the international president. But remember one thing, the West and us and we do not care about international anything. We don't think international. We don't care about international. We think about us right now. Okay, you got it? You got it? Okay. Somebody says that bruise looks threatening. It's called senile purpura. It's called an actinic purpura. When older people, and this is important for Neil, when people get older, you lose a lot of the subcutaneous fat. You tend to bruise easier. It takes just the slightest little bump for there to be a little burst or some type of trauma subcutaneously. It's benign. It's nothing. You get that in hemangiomas and all this other kind of stuff, which are benign little dermatologic blemishes. That's not it. Listen today at 2:00 when he talks about it. Listen to his address. Watch him. Watch his eyes. Watch his speech. Watch the corner of his mouth. Watch the way he acts. don't let lethargy or don't let any type of torpor or any type of physiological or physical sluggishness or what you believe to be perceived to be sluggishness, don't let that fool you. You see what I'm saying? That's a different story, my friend. In any event, also, thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're uh, answering the call to Mrs. L, subscribing to her is so appreciated. I told her, I said, I knew the nation would come to your help because I'm telling you, she is under attack because of the subject matter. Almost all of her videos aren't monetized. And then it's like she doesn't say anything. She's saying nothing. She never curses. She never, nothing. She never uses any words, nothing. They're going after her because of this subject matter. And your help is so, you're beautiful for that. So go to Lynn's Warriors again. I thank you for that. Lynn's Warriors. And thank you so very much for being so kind in subscribing. Anyway, my friends, I hope everybody's doing great. I hope everybody's doing fantastic. Look at this. I bruise constantly. I'm very physical for 72. I just tuned in. What is Trump's? There was a discussion today about Trump's address in terms of some big deal, some plenary, huge, multifaceted, broad brush discussion. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But I'm not giving up yet. Remember, it's one thing. If it were anybody else, maybe I could predict him. Maybe I could tell you, well, he's doing this wrong or that wrong. With Trump, he could tomorrow change his mind. He's so, maybe it's his genius. Maybe it's that 4D chess. Maybe he just doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I don't know. All I know is I think he's my president. He's our president. And I'm going to give him a chance. And he's still kind of just getting started. So anyway, everybody else okay? Great. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. A little early for many of you. Thank you so much. It's part of our lifestyle. You know, it's funny. When I have never felt in my life so energized, so absolutely energized over all that's going on and how important it is, especially for us to be together and to share these times. So anyway, let's see what happens. Anyway, thank you so much, my friends. Have a great and a glorious day. I appreciate it again. And thank you so much for being so terrific and so kind. Don't forget, preparewithlionel.com. Prepare, my friends. 30 days. 30 days. You got a free. This is the best deal available. Take advantage of it now. Nobody is going to help you in the event of any kind of a supply chain problem, in case of inclement weather, EMP blast, whatever. You're going to thank me for the day that you found out about preparewithlionel.com. All right, my friends, have a great and glorious day. See you later. Always stay tuned because you never know. I'm just going to pop up when I'm ready to go. Anyway, we'll talk then. Have a great and glorious day. And forget the monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue you. Da, da.